Hi guys, this is Sarah. Welcome to Kamakata, and on this episode I'm going to show you guys how to make a Polos burger. First off, to a pan of boiling hot water, we're going to add about 450 grams of Polos and then leave it on boil until it's nice and mushy when you test it out with a spoon. We're going to take that off the stove and leave it to settle, and now we're going to work on our onion. Now, the onion is a beautifully versatile root vegetable and you can do a lot of things with it, but today we're going to caramelize it. The thing about onions is they have a lot of natural sugars in them, so you don't really need to add any sugar if you're going to caramelize it. Just cut it into rings like this and then throw it into a hot pan with some oil. So here I'm going to add about 2.5 tablespoons of oil, scatter the onions about so they're not sticking together, and then add a bit of sugar because why not? I want my onions to be sweeter than the natural sweetness that they already have. Now I'm going to swirl them around in the pan a bit, make them soak up all that amazing oil and sugar, leave them to cook a little more until they're nice and brown like this. Moving on to our mushrooms, there are so many amazing types of mushrooms you can get at the supermarket these days. I have here some button mushrooms which I'm going to slice thinly and then cook it as they are because mushrooms are very spongy and they're going to absorb all the delicious flavors of the sauce. Spoons of Worcestershire sauce, a tablespoon of olive oil, some sriracha, some tamarind cream, which is one of my favorite ingredients ever. Just mix it all together and there you have your amazing sauce that we will use with all the mushrooms to give that explosion of flavor. To saute our mushrooms in that amazing sauce, just drizzle it over as much as you want. Now we're going to saute the mushrooms and leave them to sweat and soak up all those amazing juices because the mushrooms are a key part in our burger until they finally end up looking like this. Getting back to the polos, we're going to blend them all in a big blender with a few added sprigs of cilantro, a clove of garlic, some salt, chili powder, curry powder, chili flakes for added flavor. Now we're gonna put the lid on and get to blending, but then realize that we have too much ingredients in our blender, so we're gonna remove half of it out, try again, fail again, try again with a smaller blender, and then finally resort to mashing with our hands. Remove half the mix, add 1 egg to the remaining mix well, and mash into a patty as big as you're choosing. Now we're going to fry it up in a pan nicely heated with olive oil and move it around so that it gets an even brown. Now we're going to poke holes in the patty, drizzle on a bit of honey. Do it on both sides even though it isn't pictured here for optimum flavor. And then we're going to top it off with 2 slices of cheese. Now you can top it off with as much cheese as you like, but I'm just sticking to 2. Now onto our buns, we're going to toast them over the same nice polosy oil that we did the polos patty in and swirl them around until they're brown to your liking. And onwards we go to assembly. So let's start off with a small stipple of sriracha sauce. Put our patty on top of that. Layer a bit of lettuce or as much as you like. Some tomatoes, our mushrooms, and don't forget the caramelized onions, a few sprigs of cilantro, and we're ready to go. Now we have this obligatory cross section for you guys to see what it's like on the inside. Look at that, look at all that juice. So good, so good. I decided to let the office vegetarian have a bite, and as you can see from our reactions, it was great. So there you have it guys, an amazingly rich Polos burger made with a bunch of simple ingredients at the shortest time. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode, and be sure to catch our new episode on Kamakata next week probably. See you then.